In for week 9, but we'll try to get through it. I'm Jeff Sandusky alongside Jim Loke, and Jim, both these teams ran into some problems this past week in legal matters.
That's right. First of all, Uniontown docked by the Whitfield. What happened was they held too many preseason scrimmages, so they were penalized. Also, the most devastating has to be Youngstown Ursulines. One of their players wasn't eligible. He was a half credit short. Their 7-2 record became a 3-6, and the snow begins to fall.
The snow does begin to fall. Temperatures hovering around 35 degrees. Very cold. Well, this is a great matchup. Like you said, Youngstown Ursuline, they should be 7-2 right now. They're the two-time defending state champions. And Uniontown right now, they're at 8-0, the #1 team in AAA, and they're led by Kevin McLee, who's having a heck of a year.
Kevin McLee was a preseason All-American, I believe. It's amazing. I mean, McLee, he is the team. He has some great teammates, but Kevin McLee is the key to this team.
Kevin McLee, also watch out for his cousin, Billy McLee, who will join him in the backfield, and Carl Farrer will be a quarterback. We've seen them play a statewide game, and they put on a show. Right now, they are the champions of the Keystone Conference at 8-0. As for Youngstown Ursuline, they've got two running backs that are the best in Ohio.
Terrence Graves, Delbert Ferguson, two great players. Unfortunately, they would be the key to a state championship. It's not going to happen, though.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The two-time defending state champions. They also got a strong offensive line, a huge offensive line. Even though Youngstown's at 3-6, it should be a great matchup. As Uniontown right now is at 8-0, this is week 9. This is it. All the marbles. This is the last game of the regular season. We'll be back with kickoff for the CTV High School Game of the Week.
The CUTV High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Fayco Rentals. 2 locations to serve you better. If you want to rent it, Fayco's got it. Rittenhouse Bus Lines and Pleasant View Presbyterian Church, sponsoring the special Bring a Friend Out of the Cold service. Uniontown Toyota, great cars, great trucks, great deals, and great people. Centerville Clinics, 10 locations to serve you better. Uniontown and Fairchance offices. Uniontown Football Boosters, serving the Red Raider football program. Go Raiders. Enfield Stages Bus Lines, for a charter across town or across the USA. Laurel Computer Systems. Call Laurel Computer Systems for custom configurations, internet service, or gifts. Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, a full-service law practice that can handle any legal needs you may have. And by Autoland Hyundai. There's a new franchise in town, and it's in Uniontown's Autoland.
Welcome back to Bill Power Stadium here in Uniontown. Ursuline of Ohio Fighting Irish versus the Uniontown Red Raiders. Jim Loke alongside the convalescing Jeff Sandusky. And Jeff, it's cold.
Very cold. I'm going to say, I won't speak that much tonight. Put it that way. It is so cold out here. We're sitting in the stands. It is snowing.
And their metal seats.
Their metal seats as the wind is picking right up and blowing us.
And if you've ever seen A Christmas Story, you know what happens whenever anything touches.
Once again, I do apologize to the audience for my voice, but it's week 9, and we need everybody we've got, so that's why I'm here. This should be a good game, Jim. It really should. Both teams are competitive teams. Youngstown Ursuline comes in 3-6, but like we said, they got into some trouble this past week, and it was really a sad situation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you have a team, when you have as much promise as Ursuline, I mean, 2 consecutive state titles, and that happens. And when it's a third-string player that's played that's been on 1 down this year.
Yeah, 1 series, 1 down. I'm not sure what it was, but you're right. And Uniontown, like we mentioned, ran into some problems also. We know last week that there were 7 teams penalized by the WPIL. I think there was Valley, there was West Green. And the same situation happened this week with 10 teams, including Uniontown. But the difference between the WPIAL and Ohio is the WPIAL, all they do is slap them on the wrist.
Now, what was Uniontown's penalty?
Uniontown's penalty is John Fortuna will miss a conference game next year, and his team will not be able to participate in a away camp. That is it.
Yeah, they have to do the camps here.
And As for Youngstown Ursuline, they lose 4 games. They're right in the heat of the competition. They were near the top, but now they lose those 4 games, and their playoff chances are out the window.
What a lucky break for any team that was behind Ursuline. We're about 2 minutes from kickoff here. And, we're trust us, we're going to talk about the temperature a lot tonight. Before the game, after we did the open, Jeff and I go back to the TV truck, and we see the referees in there trying to get some heat.
We are right up here near the mountains, so good chance of some snow.
Oh, well, we've seen some flurries.
Some precipitation. Uniontown, I mentioned in the pregame, Jim, they're the Keystone Conference champions at 8-0. That's the first time, and I believe it's the first time in 8 years that another team has won that conference besides Bell Vernon.
And Bell Vernon, I mean, this year, don't have the record on hand. What's the record of?
4-4, I believe.
See, I mean, unfortunately, they didn't get the good fortunes they had hoped with their new surface and things there in Bell Vernon. It's a good chance for Uniontown to slip in, and 8-0, I don't think anybody can reckon with that record.
No, they are now the #1 team in Triple-A. I believe West Allegheny is #2, or Hopewell. They are the #4 team in the state. Very exciting team. Like we mentioned, they've got some weapons. Kevin McLeod, 212 carries for close to 1,500 yards. Bill McLeod, 475 yards on the ground. And Carl Farrell, the quarterback, he's thrown for close to 600 yards on the year. Uniontown will be in their red and white uniforms with Youngstown Ursuline, the Fighting Irish, in green and white.
That would be me.
Shake hands. Introduce yourselves. You'll be on. You're going to be calling the flip? Well, then you're not here. 13 is. 13, you're calling the flip. You're next to me. Okay. Gentlemen, okay. As visitors, you get to call the flip. Call it very loud. I'm just going to let it drop to the ground. Call it while it's in the air. Tails been called. It is heads. You have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. Which goal line do you want to defend?
We want to defend here.
Okay, would you put your backs to that goal line? You put your backs to this goal line and face them. Okay, we have Uniontown winning the toss, electing to receive. Gentlemen, shake hands, bring your teams out. Have a good game.
So you have heard the high-powered Uniontown offense will take over to start this game. They'll be led by Carl Farrell at quarterback, and we'll get a chance here early on to see Youngstown Ursuline's defense.
And Uniontown, I mean, obviously they're going to get a chance to start their own momentum here. And definitely be exciting. Players to watch, as you mentioned, you have the McLees, number 30, Kevin McLee, who was an All-American, and number 25, Bill McLee.
Wind will play a factor in this game. It is the wind that makes it so cold here tonight. Wind chill has to be down into the 20s or the teens. So back deep to start this game will be Carl Farrell. Pierre Jenkins back deep also. Watch out for him.
We'll get to see how good of a two-way player Carl Farrell will be.
In pregame, I did watch number 10, John Amin, the kicker. He's a very good kicker, but like I said, the wind will play a factor in this game. Not a big crowd on hand. I believe that's due to the weather.
I also think it's due to the fact that they came all the way from Youngstown. And,
You're right, across the field, not a lot of Youngstown fans are here. So back deep is Carl Farrell. We've seen him in the state game as he had a big game. And we'll see what he can do here tonight to start for the Red Raiders at 8-0, the Keystone Conference champions. They should be in a #1 seed. And we see the begin right here. We already have problems with the ball. Wind playing a factor. It's so windy that it knocked over one of our cameras.
well, there was other factors.
Other factors, but it played a factor. The initials DS. So here we go. We are ready. And once again, forgive me for my voice for the second straight week.
Jeff, you got to stop your drinking.
It is not that, believe me. There's the kick. Nice kick. As the wind played a factor in that, goes back for the touchback, and Uniontown starts on their own 20. They'll have to march 80 yards if they want to score on this opening drive.
It looks like when Farrell grabbed that, you mentioned the wind played a factor. It looked like he was blown back a little bit. And that's all where footing is going to play a factor. These teams, I mean, they have to make sure they're going to plant their feet in the right way, because you never know what the wind's going to do to you.
So here we go. First down and 10 for the Red Raiders offense. And we already have a whistle. The officials come and discuss the problem. Now we're situated. Here we go finally. First play for Uniontown. There's Farrell. The handoff to McLee, and McLee's hit in a hurry by that defensive front for Youngstown.
McLee wasn't able to go very far there. Ran right up the middle. The Fighting Irish put the choke down on.
We'll get this straight. Number 25 is Billy McLee, and number 30 is Kevin McLee. So if we mention McLee, it's one of the cousins.
Yeah, take a guess. You got a 50-50 shot.
Because we're having our problems sitting up here in the stands. Second down and 9 after a 1-yard pickup. Farrell wants to throw, and he's got De'Aaron Jenkins wide open. 40, 35, 30. Before he's knocked out of bounds, up with the 28.
De'Aaron Jenkins, number 20, the tight end for Uniontown. Amazing play. He has the speed. It looked like Youngstown sort of pushed him away after the play was over. You all right there? Oh, okay. I'm tangled in your wire. I'm sorry. But look at that again. There goes bada bing. He was free, but some speedy Ursuliners. That was number 1, Isaiah Poindexter. They got that hit.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
There you go.
On both teams. It'll be first down. Up there.
So, there you have it, 2 unsportsmanlike conducts against both teams, but a big pass from Farrell to Jenkins. We've seen that a lot.
I didn't see why Uniontown was called for that, but had they not, I think there's a possibility they may have picked up a few extra yards on there. Regardless, though, they're on Youngstown's 28.
Jim De'Aaron Jenkins was wide open at midfield. Got behind that defense. They will bring us down to the 28 where he went out of bounds. 2 penalties offsetting. Out comes center number 62, Jason Carter. He's a 3-year starter. 3-back set. Farrell to Billy McLee off to the right side before he stopped by number 12.
Kyle Brubaker, 6'2", 225 pounds for the Fighting Irish. Fighting Irish, a private Catholic school. And those are the type of the matchups where you see the public school playing the private school. Those are what you normally see towards the beginning of the year. But not in this case.
Second down and 7 after a 3-yard pickup. 3-back set for Uniontown. Farrell holds it and hands off to McLee, but he's hit in a hurry. So we've seen our share of Billy McLee here.
Yeah, you got 2 weapons like that. Alternate them.
10:22 remaining here in the first quarter. It was Farrell with a big pass to Jenkins that now sets them up, about on the 27. We have a false start, and I think that is against De'Aaron Jenkins on the left side.
I do believe you're right.
If that's the case, they'll mark him back. That is the call against Uniontown, so it'll now be 3rd down and 11.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. Red. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
Penalties against the Raiders for illegal procedure.
Jim, it cannot get much colder.
No, it can't. And I think we're going to start keeping a running tally of how many times we mentioned the cold tonight.
That is the 3rd time, I believe, here tonight.
And you know, Jeff, we're going to be back here next week, too.
Oh, boy. Farrell Wants to pass, screen, Jenkins off to the left side. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. He's brought down.
Unlike the last time they went to D.R. Jenkins, this time he was covered.
So a third down play. Nothing happening there. It'll now be fourth down for Uniontown after the screen to Jenkins.
It's a shame Uniontown is going to be forced to punt in this situation. I mean, they had a great way to start this off.
Actually, they are going to go for it.
Oh, I thought they were.
3-yard loss, fourth down 14. Farrell steps up into the pocket. They're not fooled. Youngstown Ursuline will take over up at about the 24-yard line.
You know, you have to have a very nimble quarterback to get to convert a fourth down when you need 14 yards. Look there, he didn't have the luck there. Stop made by Kyle Brubaker. Now Youngstown's going to fight back.
So Ursuline will take over for the first time. They've got a high-powered offense.
I see people wearing shorts, and I ask why.
Missing a few bolts. So first down and 10. The ball actually spotted on a 27. Receiver to the left and to the right. Man in motion's number 13, John Angelo. There's the handoff to number 5, Terrence Graves. We mentioned him in the pregame. He's a guy you have to watch.
He's a big impact player for them, one of the top 2 running backs in the entire Buckeye State. Now he's just more or less going to salvage some an extra win for Youngstown. Look again, the handoff to Graves. He runs right up through. Quick gain, 2nd and 4 now.
It is 2nd down and 4 after a 6-yard pickup. Graves alone back. Angelo in motion once again, lines up in an eye. And there's the hands off to Graves as he'll get about 3.
That was a quick play there. 8:30 ticking down on the clock. Stops made by Adam Busica. And I missed the other one.
Quarterback is number 8, Daryl Clark, a sophomore, 6'2", 180 pounds. I-back formation. There's the handoff to Angelo, and he's got the first down behind that huge offensive line.
First down, a little bit more for Youngstown. Inching their way to the 50-yard line. One thing we'd really like to see tonight is we might not see it with the McLees for Uniontown. It's just a good passing duel. We saw that in some sort last week, but I think this game is going to be fought more or less on the ground for the most part.
You're right. Both teams have excellent running games. The ball on the ground, and Uniontown recovers. Number 31, Greg Leonard, with a big play.
Fans are on their feet here for that. You just watch this again. There it goes. Falls out of the hand. It looked as if Leonard kind of forced that fumble, but that's exactly what he needed.
It appeared that Clark and Graves were not on the same page, and Leonard took advantage.
We'll see it again. Number 8, Daryl Clark, the quarterback. There he goes. Yeah, Greg Leonard certainly got a hand on there, but he forced that.
So here we go from the 35, Farrell. This time it's to Kevin McLean. Look at him go. He's got the first down.
Kevin McLean, you can't say his name. I mean, I'm sure we'll be saying the McLean. We already said Billy McLean a lot. Kevin McLean up to about the 20.
Kevin McLean, the number 2 rusher in the WPIAL.
I see snowflakes forming on our monitor here.
So
7:20 remaining, 1st and 10. Uniontown on Youngstown's 23. There's the handoff. And McLean with the short carry, but we're going to have a flag. Jeff is having some difficulties there with his headset. We're going to take a look. Will we see that again?
Kevin McLean, ball carrier, 10, brought down by Robert Small.
Jeff, we have you back yet? No, we don't. All right.
We have holding, red. Repeat the down. Be first down.
Okay, go, dude. Let's go, dude.
First down again. You'll see there's a handoff to Kevin McLean. Short gain. They're going to repeat that down. First and 15 for the Raiders. No, we don't have Jeff Sandusky back yet. Don't worry, we're working on it. All right. That was McLean on the carry there. Jeff, were you back yet? I don't believe. And no. No. Here we go. Looking for the pass. Long pass. Who's going to get it? He got it. No. We're told that D.R. Jenkins did not get that there. Broken up by Youngstown.
So how about now? There we go. Now Jim is not on. This is something. So 6:09, I'm back. Jim. There's Farrell. He wants to throw. He's in trouble and he's brought down. Stop made by number 51, Tom Manning. 6'1", 265 pounds. 5:49 remaining, still no score. And the punt team comes on as Uniontown will be forced to punt. Back deep will be Graves and Isaiah Poindexter for Ursuline. Fake. They got in a wide open. He's at the 10 and brought down at the 10. They went to the bag of tricks and this time it worked. Take a look at that instant replay. Terrence Graves with the stop, but Uniontown down to the 10. So it'll be first down and goal for Uniontown. Carter over the ball. Three-back set. There's Farrell. The handoff to Kevin McLean. Kevin McLean just tripped up. I believe the initial stop was made there by number...
Kevin McLean, the ball carrier, brought down by
Brandon Brown, the PA calls. So it'll be second down and 6 now. Second and goal for Uniontown. Three-back set. Just a handoff to Kevin McLean off to the left side, but he'll go nowhere as that defensive front was all over him. So this will bring up a big third down now. Stop made by Manning for Ursuline. Brett Carroll came off the field for Uniontown. Farrell rolls out, wants to throw. He's in trouble, goes to his right, steps up into the pocket, and he'll be brought down up at about the 8. Carl Farrell, nowhere to go. So Uniontown takes it down deep, but now they're faced with a big 4th down. It appears they will go for it on 4th down and not kick. And it is cold. That's the 4th time. It's getting colder. Timeout down on the field. Timeout call by Uniontown. They will discuss with 3:19 remaining here in the first quarter. Uniontown, they've taken it down deep. They did the fake punt. But now they are faced with a big 4th down here. Youngstown Ursuline was fooled on that fake punt, and I think everybody in the stands was fooled. John Fortunia wants to discuss. Fortunia in his 7th season as the head coach. This will be the 2nd straight year that Uniontown will advance to the playoffs. And that's after a 19-year drought. It goes all the way back to 1981. Both these teams feature an explosive running game, and we've seen a little bit of that here. But now it'll be 4th down and a ball spotted on the 8. Carl Farrell with a big pass to DeAir Jenkins early on in the first quarter, but they could not capitalize on it as they were forced to give the ball back to Ursuline. Here we go. Man in motion is Kevin McLee. Farrell wants to throw, throws in, it's caught. DeAir Jenkins. Uniontown is on top 6-0. An 8-yard touchdown pass at 3:14 has put Uniontown on top 6-0 here early on. They now attempt the extra points. High snap. There's the kick. He gets it. 7-0 Uniontown. First quarter action of the CUTV High School Game of the Week. And it's dropped up at about the 25, and they have some problems with it. The brought down up at about the 22. So on comes the Uniontown defensive squad, and Youngstown Ursuline will take over for the 3rd time here tonight, trailing by 7. Ball officially spotted on the 22. So we take a look at the instant replay. Farrell, Jenkins, touchdown. I-back formation. There's Graves off to the right side. Nice hole. Pickup of about 7. Darrell Clark with the fumble. He had a fumble in the first quarter. .244 remaining here in the first quarter.
Hello.
I'm back. Thank you. I am dying. I have no voice and not much left. There's the handoff to number 3, Ferguson. Ferguson, he's at the 45, 50, 40, still on his feet up at the 30. And finally brought down. Jim, save my voice. Take it away.
Jeff, I wish Delbert Ferguson knocked down around the 30-yard line. But one heck of a carry by him.
And we have a fight down on the field.
Who's at the...
Flags are flying everywhere. Let's take a look. I believe it was a late hit.
I think you're right. Here we go. There's the handoff to Ferguson. Ferguson headed downfield. There he is. He's chugging along. Okay. There's the air Jenkins knocks him out.
And Farrell comes in and...
Well,
so that's a mess down on the field.
Yes. Deciding what to do.
So on a cold Uniontown evening, Uniontown is on top 7-0, but there's problems down on the field as both teams in a little bit of fisticuffs.
Yes. Apologize for talking over each other. Jeff and I are having some difficulties.
It's a mess right
yeah,
now,
it is.
I also see number 56, Musica, down on the field, and he came running in late, but I think Carl Farrell has something to do with that.
Yeah, we see Ursuline, some in the midfield, all Uniontown. They're on their sidelines. Something's going to happen here.
There's the head coach for Ursuline.
I don't know who that is. Did Jim Milo?
Yes.
Big guy. Yeah, it looks like they're telling the players get off the field. We see Youngstown headed to their sideline.
Jim, I don't think I've ever been cornered.
There has been one instance, I think. He's going through the motions.
I believe this will be offsetting if this is... The official will go discuss this with...
I think they're going to have to go into their corners and discuss what they've done. Think about what they've done. Okay, they're going to let them know what's going on here.
So it is 7-0 Uniontown. A Farrell pass to De'Aaron Jenkins is the results.
I missed that.
And you see the coaching staff for Uniontown not pleased with the situation. And
why would be there? I think that was
Jim, you got to remember this. Now think about this. If they lose a player for next week, if one of their players gets kicked out, they automatically will have to sit out next week.
Dead ball, offsetting penalties, personal foul. And personal foul. Play will stand right here. It'll be first down. White.
So no one will be kicked out, but the play will stand here as it is offsetting. So the ball will be spotted up around the 20-yard line after the Ferguson big gain. But both teams have to be careful. If one player gets kicked out, they will have to sit out next week.
And that's just crucial because, we mentioned what a great run Uniontown has this season. The last thing a team that's 8-0 or, depending on what this, either 9-1 or 8-1 or 9-0, want to go to next week missing one of their key players. I mean, losing De'Aaron Jenkins or Carl Farrell, that could be a nail in the coffin.
So here we go after about a 5-minute delay.
It will be first and 10.
Receiver to the left and to the right. Man in motion. Play action pass. Wants to throw, and this one is thrown too low.
Looks like that was broken up by number 9, Adam Bozick. He looks like he had a hand in that, but...
Nice to see Bozick back in the lineup. We did not see him in the statewide game when we were here a couple of weeks ago. So it'll be second down and 10 now. Darrell Clark, the quarterback for Ursuline. One of the top young players in all of Ohio.
Clark's only a sophomore, too.
Yes. Chapman off to the left. And we have a flag come flying in. Graves is the ball carrier, but there is a yellow flag down on the field, and I believe this will be against Ursuline.
That's the looks of it. You got the cheerleaders. You know it's cold when the cheerleaders got their varsity jackets on. They're, here we go.
Motion. White. Penalty is declined. Third down.
And Jim takes a sip of his hot chocolate, but that is not going to work.
That's right. Jeff is, I can hear that I can hear you have the lozenge in your mouth. Said we're the walking wounded here tonight.
So I-back formation for Ursuline. 3 receivers set. Man in motion is Chapman. Clark wants to pass. In trouble, and he's brought down by Kevin McLean.
What? Yeah.
We got the ball away. It was Billy McLean came in and caused.
Jeff and I are confused what just went on. Well, as it stands, all right, it was an intended pass to Terrence Graves, incomplete. He did get the ball away. There's a timeout on the field. So as there is that timeout,
we will take some time to read our sponsors.
Well, you can rest that. You can rest the pipes for a second.
Thank you.
Fayco Rentals has 2 locations to serve you better. If you want to rent it, Fayco's got it. Give them a call at 724-437-1460. I have the abbreviated promos. Here we go. There are 2 locations, Uniontown and Bell Vernon. Coming out of the cold, the Pleasant View Presbyterian Church in Smock, Pennsylvania is holding a special event on Sunday, December 9th. It's a Bring a Friend Sunday for worship service at 11 a.m. For more information, call 724-677-2149. The message brought to you by the Rittenhouse Bus Alliance, a proud supporter of Uniontown Athletics. And
Jim, do you think Al Michaels had to go through this?
I think he did. I think he did. I have no doubt in my mind he did. Hey, he had to deal with Cosell. That's enough.
Actually, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Michaels took over in '85, I believe. Well,
this Monday Night Football Trivia brought to you by Jeff Sandusky.
Okay, 4th down for Ursuline. In trouble, and Billy McLean gets the sack. Billy McLean is second of the night.
Normally, okay, we'll take a look again. There goes Clark, number 8. You see him in the right corner of your screen. Now here goes Billy McLean. Just jumps all over him, pulls him a little bit. The way his head had moved, I thought we couldn't see it. It wouldn't have surprised me if there was a face mask involved, but...
So that Uniontown defense holds them again.
And they're playing a team that has one of the best, secondaries and defensive lines in all of Ohio.
So a 3-back set for Uniontown as they take over. There's the handoff. Not much happening as that was taken by Kevin McLean. 125. Jinx. Jim, we get through this game, we'll get through any game.
Now, thankfully, we only have one more after this.
Next week will be the start of the playoffs. We will be somewhere. Speculation is we'll be right back here. And
we'll bring the blanket next week.
There's Farrell. He threw the ball. He's off to the right side across midfield as he goes out of bounds. Up at about the 45, and Carl Farrell using his legs.
One thing that John Fortunia's team has for him is that they use the element surprise an awful lot. You saw, just now, there goes Farrell, and he fakes them all out. There he goes. He's in the right corner of your screen. Trying to plan out their next course of attack here.
So it'll be 1st down now for Uniontown. 3-back set. Farrell. Draw right up the middle. That's taken by number 31.
Greg Leonard.
Number 31 is Greg Leonard. Of course, he's the one that recovered the fumble for Uniontown.
Clock's ticking down with 33 seconds. And still awaiting here.
It was a 5-yard pickup for Uniontown and Mr. Leonard. So a 3-back set once again as they continue the trend. Farrell, the handoff, and not much happening there. Ball on the ground, but they say he is down. That was Kevin McLee.
And it looks like the clock will run out here before they can get the next play off. And that'll be it for the first quarter here from Uniontown. Uniontown leading Youngstown Ursuline 7-0. We'll be right back from Antarctica.
Man in motion's Kevin McLee. Farrell wants to pass, and he's in trouble, steps up into the pocket, and he will not get that first down, but a swifty move by Mr. Farrell.
Yeah, he almost, Youngstown almost had a piece of him. He was able to maneuver himself out of the way, brought down by whom, we're not sure.
There's a pickup of about 3, so it'll be 4th down and 2, and onto the field comes the punt team. So Youngstown Ursuline has had their problems offensively tonight, and they'll try to get things going. Watch out for the fake punt, as we've seen in the first quarter.
Only 2 yards to go. He will do it.
Low kick, and the wind will take this into the end zone.
Nice punt.
So that'll bring it out to the 20, as Youngstown Ursuline will have to march 80 yards. Long bus ride for Youngstown Ursuline.
Absolutely. I can't give you an exact time. I heard somebody say something in the neighborhood of 2.5 to 3 hours.
I'd say around 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you come off that gateway interchange off the turnpike. But Youngstown, one of the first exits I know off of 76
yes.
when you're going into Ohio.
Home of the Penguins.
That's right.
Youngstown State Penguins. I've been there quite a few times. Chapman in motion for Ursuline. There's the handoff. I believe that's Graves. Check that.
That's Delbert Ferguson. Jinx. All right, we got to stop that.
Pickup of 6. It'll now be 2nd down and 4.
Quick jaunt down the old National Road, Route 40 for us, from California to here.
Quick trip down 51 for me.
Yeah, it's true.
Chapman in motion. There's the handoff. This time it is taken by Terrence Graves, and Terrence Graves with a big gain.
I saw, watched Deere Jenkins, number 20. It looked as if he did something here. I don't see any flags, but take a look there. And you'll see number 20 coming in from your right.
Grab him by the head.
Yeah, no face mask involved there.
So a big gain for Youngstown Ursuline. They will now be spotted on a 48. I-back formation. Ferguson off to the left side, and Ferguson will get about 2 before he stops.
As they enter Red Raider territory, they'll be at the Uniontown 48. And we'll be at 2nd and 10.
Actually, it'll be about 2nd down and
should have
6.
done that.
I-back formation once again. Our receiver to the left and to the right. Straight up the middle is...
He looked like a rocket out of there. That was number 5, Terrence Graves. Shot up the center. They get that first down.
So they keep it on the ground, and the result is a first down for the Fighting Irish of Ursuline. Ursuline, the two-time defending state champion of Ohio. Section 4. Chapman in motion. There's Ferguson off to the left side, looks for some room, and
he'll get it.
He gets some room as he plows to about the 30-yard line. Stop made by number 19.
All right, we'll see it again. Man in motion there. There goes Clark with a handoff to Ferguson, and yeah,
Jacobson Farrell in on the stop.
It'll be 2nd and 1. I was wrong. He did not get it.
Split to the right is number 6, Jimmy Riley. Chapman is in motion. Clark, play action, wants to throw, and there's Riley, but this one is badly thrown short.
And Riley was down too. Bounced off the turf here.
So a big third down now for Ursuline. They have gotten it to the other side of the field, but once they have, they've been stopped.
Yeah, it's just a matter. They can get it to the other side. It's just a matter of getting inside that crucial red zone.
8:16 remaining here in the first half from a chilly Uniontown Bill Powers Stadium. Final week of the regular season is pretty much all playoff situations are sealed up, but there's still some on the line. There's Graves, and Graves brought down, but I believe he got it. He needed to get to about the 29.5. Or 31.5, check that.
Well, we'll see here on the replay. There's the handoff, and yeah, he didn't get it. If he would have gone straight forward, they would have had it sealed up. Instead, he decided to zig when he should have zagged.
So he does not get it. Big 4th down with a capital B.
Bill Power Stadium named after the great Uniontown Red Raider coach of the past.
I-back formation. They'll go straight ahead, and they've definitely got it behind number 8, Darryl Clark.
Darryl Clark, the ball carrier for Ursuline, brought down by Kevin McLean.
Brought down by Kevin McLean.
Kevin McLean was a all-conference linebacker last year. A lot of people look at his running ability, but he's a great defensive player also. 1st down and 10. Twins to the right. Chapman in motion. Graves left side, nowhere to go. Brett's out in a hurry. Carl Farrell, the first one.
Wow, Farrell was just all over him. That's power right there. You saw how he pushed his way through, wrapped his arms around. Look at Farrell. He's going to come right through. Bam! And spin around a few times. Did everything but take him out to dinner.
So 2nd down 11, a loss of 1 on 1st down. Twins to the right. Chapman in motion once again. Buckley to hand off to Graves, and Graves will get about 2 before he's tripped up by the defensive front.
So the clock continues to tick down with about 6:10 left in this half. The band is getting ready to head down on the field, and yes, we will bring you the bands at halftime. Will we?
Yes.
Okay.
As always. Our receiver to the left and to the right. Chapman in motion. 3rd down and 8. Buckley to Graves as Buckley falls, and the ball's on the ground. Who's got it? Uniontown. They signal they've got it, and they do.
It's another example of Ursuline's inability to capitalize on getting into that red zone, or at least making halfway down the field. They weren't able to do it. Uniontown's going to get it.
Graves appeared like he came up limping there. You see Buckley, he just tripped. Or check that, Darrell Clark. Clark tripped and has the second fumble by Ursuline. So 5:42 remaining here in the first half. Uniontown on top, 7-0. Kevin McLee off to the left side. McLee tough to tackle. He's brought down after a pickup of about 3. Kevin McLee, the number 2 rusher in all the whips.
It's amazing when you're able to when you're able to be a two-way player like McLee. You mentioned being an all-conference linebacker. In fact, both inside linebackers for the Red Raiders are both Kevin and Billy McLee.
Billy McLee will be the featured back more than likely next year, as Kevin will go on to more than likely a top Division I program. The rumor is West Virginia. We'll just have to wait and see till February. False start by number 51 for Uniontown.
Mike Langvarsky, and I'll tell you what, he looked. You could just tell by his body language there that he just knew as soon as he moved his feet that he was in the wrong.
Brain freeze.
Hey, you can say that.
Dead ball, procedure, red, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
And I'm brain freeze, yeah. And that's definitely likely here tonight. Bill Power Stadium abutted by some railroad tracks back here, like I said, right off Route 40 past.
Farrell, the handoff to McLee on the draw. McLee off to the left side, and he's brought down by a trio of defenders for the Fighting Irish.
You know, every time you say Fighting Irish, I have to think for a second. Of course, this Fighting Irish, they have green in their uniform. Notre Dame does not.
They used to.
They used to a long time ago.
Jersey. When Montana used to play, they did have green jerseys. So 3rd down and 8. Farrell rolls out. He's
in trouble.
And he throws in. This one's almost picked off. Is intended for number 31.
Greg Leonard. It was broken up by Ursuline's Robert Smaltz. Smaltz, number 52, 6 feet, 210 pound senior. And the Raiders will punt.
Petruska, the punter, gets this away, almost blocked. There's Graves, still on his feet. We have a flag.
We got flags from all over.
Check that. That was Rowley.
We'll hear what the penalty is there.
The difficult thing about this roster is we don't have everybody on Uniontown's team, just the starters.
We have the other roster somewhere.
That's Ursuline.
Oh, that's right. Plus, our problem is it's small print. We don't have any good lighting up here. Jeff, we don't have any lighting up here.
We're in an illegal block in the back. White. Remain White's ball. It'll be 1st down.
So an illegal block being the case against Ursuline. With 3:58, Ursuline will have to march. So Darrell Clark drops onto the field.
It's URS and UHS if you're standing far from the screen.
Chapman far to the left. Handoff straight up the middle, taken. Who was that, Jim?
I missed that there.
That is number 3, Delbert Ferguson.
Delbert Ferguson, the ball carrier on the play, brought down.
So a pickup of about 3 as the clock continues to wind down, close to 3 minutes now.
We'll see if they get an opportunity here to, as I said, we keep mentioning that They can make it across field. They just can't get any closer than the 30-yard line.
We've seen Clark throw the ball a few times here tonight, but he's throwing them short every time. Here's this one. It's thrown for Riley. This one's overthrown this time. As Riley wants a flag, but he will not get it.
That was intended for number 6, as you said, Jimmy Riley. That was just too high, too far, too powerful. And he was double-teamed, in addition, by Uniontown's Sierra Jenkins and Carl Farrell.
Another big third down now for the Uniontown defensive squad. I-back formation for Ursuline. Clark in trouble, and he's going to be sacked by a trio of defenders. First man there. Who else?
Yeah, who
Billy
else?
McLeod.
Had to be in suspense there, but they pushed him way back. Look at that. There's Clark, and he just knew he was in trouble. McLeod wraps his arms around him, brings him down. 4th and 23 now.
So this high-powered offense has met its match. Uniontown, of course, the number 1 team in AAA in the WPIAL.
And they're looking like that 3-6 record now, as if they actually
You're right.
earned that.
Very sloppy play. There's a high snap.
And look, yeah, that's very sloppy snap there for Youngstown.
So Uniontown will take over with some great field position. They have 2 minutes left on the clock.
Kill this time, run the clock down, and I think we've only had 1 timeout used tonight, Jeff.
Let's take a look at this instant replay one more time as he actually threw the ball. How about that?
That's about as likely as Jerome Bettis making a pass.
So Uniontown will take over at the 9.
Wow.
First down and goal.
Never do you really see after a punt it already being 1st and goal.
Uniontown already up 7-0. 3-back set. Farrell to McLeod, and McLeod's still on his feet. Bounces around a few times before he is brought down.
There's a flag. If you're a young kid at home watching this game, you want to play football, don't play like Youngstown. At least right now.
The penalty, I believe, is against Ursuline. See McLeod bounces around a few times.
Face mask, 5 yards. Actually, half the distance. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he's telling the truth, though. So now it's going to go from 1st and 9 to 1st and 4.
It'll be first down and goal. The ball will be spotted on the 4. And if your kids at home, don't watch the way Ursuline's playing and don't listen to the way we are bringing this game to you. And there's another flag, and this one is a timeout. Actually, not a flag. Take some time, Jim, and let me rest my voice.
Uniontown Toyota is where you'll find great cars, great deals, and great people. The sales staff invites all Red Raider fans to stop in while looking for your next new or pre-owned car or truck. They call it pre-owned, not used now. For more information, call 724-437-8422. Uniontown Toyota, Route 40 Uniontown, proud supporters of Uniontown Athletics. Davis & Davis, attorneys at law, full-service general law practice. They can help you deal with legal issues from personal injury to corporate and family law, from medical negligence to criminal defense. Davis & Davis of Uniontown with hours from Monday through Saturday as a team of professionals working for you. Call 724-437-2799. Davis & Davis, proud supporters of Red Raider Athletics. Centerville Clinics provides total health care for the entire community. 10 locations that serve you better in their coverage area. Visit the Uniontown Doctor's Office, Yablonsky Clinic in Centerville, or the Fairchance Office, or the Centerville Office in California. For location, call 632-6801.
Boy, that was a mouthful.
Hey, I try. All right, so they're going to have 4 to go with 1:57 left in this half. I suspect that 7-0 is going to change.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Farrell going to keep it himself. Rolls out. He's in trouble. Rolls to the left. Waits for a block, and he'll be brought down at about the 10 as he's knocked out of bounds. Carl Farrell tried to make something happen, but the result was about a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, it's not something you really want to... You know, a lot of times when you're in a situation like this, the logical thing is to just, you know, make it a QB keeper. But he was sent scrambling here. You know, they don't have, he didn't have far to go, so Youngstown had the luxury of spreading their defense wherever they needed it to. So it will be 2nd and goal, as Jeff Sandusky just leaves me. And here we go. There goes Farrell. He's gonna pass, and no. So Farrell tosses it out of bounds. This is intended for Billy McLee. So now it goes from 1st and 4 to 3rd and 10. Still good for 3rd and goal, but they're going to have to make something happen here. Although if this doesn't work out, they don't want to take the risk of the touchdown. They could at least go for the 3-pointer. So they're discussing their next move. As we said, stay here for halftime. We'll have the bands for you. Uniontown lines up. Farrell, he's going to pass again, or is he going to run? He's going to pass, and no. Intended for Kevin McLee. McLee drops it. So, leads you to wonder what they're going to do now. I would assume they might play it safe here, because they had 3 attempts. I mean, especially, you rarely see a team starting a new drive from 1st and goal after that botched punt by Youngstown. So it's going to be another timeout. I'll thank a few more sponsors. The Uniontown Football Boosters Club, proud supporters of Uniontown Red Raider football. The club members wish the team, coaches, and staff the best of luck in 2001. When attending a football game, support the projects of the Booster Club, and in turn, help the club help the players. The Uniontown Football Boosters Club, Karen Musica, president. And Laurel Computer Systems at 72 East Fayette Street here in Uniontown. They can handle any custom configuration for you or your business. Internet services also available. Laurel Computer Systems accepting all major credit cards, 90 days, same as cash, and up to 60 months financing. Layaways and gift certificates are available. Laurel Computer Systems, 724-438-6601. They're proud supporters of Uniontown Athletics. Hey, that's what they say. You can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. 1:35 left here. Youngstown returns to the field, and yet to determine what's going to go on. As we said, they have the option of going for a field goal, although it doesn't look likely right now. I think, yeah, they're definitely going to go for it. And he's going to pass. Here it goes, and he made it. The pass complete to number 20, De'Aaron Jenkins. And Uniontown finally makes it 13-0. Raiders double their lead. Great play there. He had the backup. Farrell faked it out a little bit, and there you see Jenkins was wide open. Youngstown a little bit late. That was Isaiah Poindexter and John Angelo attempting. Kyle Clay is going to go for the extra point. He's up. And it is good. So 14-0. We'll keep it here for the last minute and a half of this game. You saw some risks taken there by Uniontown. It was first, you know, they mentioned 1st and goal. Farrell tried running it once, no luck. He tried 2 different passes on 2 occasions, once overthrowing it, the second time to Kevin McLee. McLee dropped it this time. De'Aaron Jenkins, that's the 2nd touchdown of the game. That wasn't something we were expecting coming into here, because you think Uniontown right now, you think of McLee's, you think of Kevin and Billy. However, they've been strong defensively. They haven't had many times to move the ball tonight. So we'll get ready to start another opportunity for Youngstown, but they can move the ball up to about the 30, and that's it. The winds are dying down here a little bit, at least up here in the top row. And 14-0 your score from Bill Power Stadium. Youngstown will kick this off. I'm sorry, excuse me. Uniontown will kick this off. Jimmy Riley, what was that about? Jimmy Riley is going to be back.
Talk to a man about a horse. So, I'm back, Jim.
Yeah. Well, not a very strong kick there for Youngstown. And the carries to the 40-yard line.
You know, I was talking to a man in the bathroom.
Jeff, you know what? I'd love to hear about it, but let's take a look at the touchdown again. There goes Farrell back. And Jenkins, we said, he was wide open there.
It was actually about Youngstown. He's from Youngstown, and he mentioned how sloppy this team is playing. And he said this team is really affected by the 4-game loss they had. And
Blocking below the waist. White. Remains their ball. First down.
Well, let me ask you something in that respect, Jeff. You know, we mentioned he really wasn't much of an impact player. Do you put the blame of this? Do you put the who do you blame in a situation like this? I mean, were Youngstown school officials aware that he was ineligible? I mean, you got to ask yourself these questions.
You're right. It's really sad to see the players penalized because they were not the ones involved.
Absolutely.
It was more the administration, I'd have to say.
But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I really got to commend Ohio's Athletic Association for doing that.
They did. They cracked down. Here we go. First down 10 for Ursuline. There's the reverse. And a flea flicker down deep, and it's, oh, gosh, a wide open Louis Izeri.
And he's getting booed. And here's the thing: Lou Irizarry is not a small target. 6'5", 230 pounds, huge. He could not hold on to that. He was down to about the 25-yard line. So you
wide open, and
you don't see many opportunities like that in a high school football.
And the weather might have played a factor with that. It's very cold, and Terrence Graves with a nice throwing ball. So 1:16 remaining here in the first half.
That's right.
Receiver to the left and to the right. Man in motion is Chapman. Thrown, and this one is incomplete, intended for Riley.
I don't think in instances like that it's the weather. It's the fact that they can't hold on to the damn ball.
So it'll be a third down and 10 now for Youngstown. Youngstown, a huge team, you mentioned. They've got 230, 245, 290, 285.
You know, too, though, I mean, being that the fact that they're a private school, they do have the luxury of sort of picking and choosing who can come up through their ranks.
Chapman in motion. Clark rolls out, wants to throw, he's in trouble, and Kevin McLeod, boom, bang.
That's, I mean, you mentioned what a great quarterback Clark is, but we're not seeing that. And you say, you know, it could be the fact they're affected, but I mean, he looked to scramble, and I think both quarterbacks have done that to some degree tonight, where they can't find the target, so they backpedal.
Tough to throw when it's this windy and that cold. The hands just do not work with you.
Yeah, the wind's blowing out to the left, too. I can't give you a cardinal direction here.
Back deep is Farrell and Jenkins. Two to watch out for. High snap. Get the kick away, and this ball bounce at the 40 and keep on rolling down to about the 34. Clock finally stops at 6.8 seconds, so Uniontown more than likely will just kneel on the ball.
Raiders will take over at their own 31, 41, 34.
34. So
In the middle.
Jim, I guess you could say this first half has been played sloppy by Ursuline.
Well, you're right. I mean, I don't think sloppy is a word, but Uniontown was a little shaky to start off with.
They've had their problems also.
But De'Aaron Jenkins pulling it off for the Red Raiders.
So Farrell, they'll hand off to McLean. McLean fumbles. Whew, that could have been trouble. That's the last play. Boy, if they pick that up and take it, I don't know. Well, it's 14-0 at the end of one half. Jim Loke will bring you the halftime show.
And Jeff will go somewhere warm.
And I'll try to get some hot chocolate.
We'll be right back at the CUTV High School Game of the Week. I'm not the type of person you would find on Coach Fortunia's in his rushing corps anytime soon.
So the captains come to the center for the second half as Ursuline will receive to start the second half as Uniontown receives to start the game. Farrell, McLee, Carter.
Well, Jeff, I think it's fair to say at this point, it's still very feasible for Ursuline to come back in this game.
You're right.
But the way they've been playing, it's not likely.
Only down 2 touchdowns, you're right. So 24 minutes left of action, and it's very easy. They could be back into this game with 1 touchdown. So Youngstown will receive. And really, Uniontown did not have a great first half themselves.
No, they did not.
As the 2 touchdowns were a result of Farrell to Jenkins.
Ursuline certainly led with the rushing.
89-45.
That's right.
And remember, next week will be playoff time. We'll be somewhere. We believe it'll be here. And we also believe Uniontown will be the number 1 seed in all of AAA if they hold on. Number 2 will more than likely be Hopewell or West A. West Allegheny, of course, beat Thomas Jefferson last week.
Although West Allegheny, they had a game against West Mifflin where things were looking pretty grim until Tyler Palco, their
star quarterback,
headed to Pitt, headed to the University of Pittsburgh.
He made it official this week. Some speculation that he might go to the other Fighting Irish, the University of Notre Dame, but he has said he will not quit. He will go to Pitt, and Pitt needs him right now.
Yeah,
Pitt is struggling. So here we go, second half action. Low kick taken at about the 34. That's number 12, Kai Brubaker, and Brubaker still on his feet. But they whistle he's down, and the coaching staff for Ursuline.
Jeff, I don't think he was.
I don't think he was down.
I'm sure we're going to see that again. There we go. There's the kick. Will we see? Okay. There's Brubaker, number 12.
Never down. He never went down.
No, he wasn't.
He never went down. His knee never touched. So the coaching staff for Ursuline did have an argument. Here we go. Second half action for Ursuline. Man in motion is number 20, Adam Chapman. Here's the handoff to number 5, Terrence Graves. Graves will pick up about 4. Terrence Graves with a nice first half. He had that nice pass, but it's not a completion.
No, okay, we will see that again, just to verify that. You're going to see Brubaker in the right corner of your screen. He was never down.
It's tough to see in the corner of the screen, but it appeared.
That's why there's not instant replay in high school football.
Chapman in motion. Here's the hit off to Ferguson, and Ferguson's got the first down and much more before he's brought down by number 54, Harry Kaufman.
It was a half and half. It was Harry Kaufman, Carl Farrell. See it again. Take it right up the center. And you know what? It looked like he brought down a couple people along the way.
Not a lot of fans left here in the second half.
No, it did clear out.
Fair weather fans at Uniontown.
Well, literally fair weather fans.
High back formation. Chapman in motion. Crowley split to the left. There's a handoff to Graves up the middle, and he's in open field. He's at the 30, 25. He needs another block. Right down at the 15. Number 5, Terrence Graves, the junior, with another big game.
Definitely an amazing run there, and this is, I believe, Jeff, this marks the first time that Ursuline's in the red zone.
Nice blocking up front by the big offensive line. You've seen Adam Chapman was down there with a nice block. So now with 10:41 and a trail by 14, Ursuline can get right back in this game with a quick strike. High back formation. Chapman in motion. Ferguson, right side, needs a block, tripped up. Stop made there by number 51, Mike Langvarski.
That's it. You see, yeah, he was tossed around like a rag doll.
So the ball now spotted on the 15 after a 2-yard loss.
Well, we haven't seen any flurries in a while. We did see a lot of them earlier, but...
Twins to the right, high back formation. Graves up the middle. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone. First touchdown for Ursuline, 14-6.
Only 2 minutes and 15 seconds into this, and Ursuline gets on the board for the first time. So 14-6 is their score.
Jim, we mentioned
it was possible.
We mentioned they needed a quick strike, and it was possible, and they did get it. Now 14-6 on the kick is number 10, John Amen. John Amen, they go by.
Amen!
Amin with a great leg. Snap, kick, amen. 14-7 in the CUTV High School Game of the Week.
At home, in the workplace, on the plane.
Pinned back deep, and Uniontown in trouble. Momentum is now on Ursuline's side, and you can see it.
You can also see the fans are starting to throw some things, and some papers blowing around on the field. But you mentioned how Amin kicked that to the heavens, and Jeff, don't you just wish his name was Amen?
The Horst, Jeff Sandusky alongside Jim Loke.
You sounded better, though, Jeff. You really are.
Thank you. There's the replay. Big hole up front for Graves. And Graves walks in. Here's Uniontown taking over. It's taken by McLee. McLee with a pickup of about 3. And Kevin McLee really did not have a good first half.
No. It's a bit disappointing.
Only 45 yards total on the ground for Uniontown that first half.
And they had 85 passing. And the thing is with McLee, I mentioned this when you were talking about that horse, is that McLee tonight, I mean, normally he's the offensive threat. Tonight they were the defensive threats.
You're right, 2nd down and 7. Look at Farrell go, a couple dance moves, and he's brought down.
He's a smooth criminal. What? Oh, I'm sorry. There we go.
It appears we have a player down for Ursuline. Let's look at Farrell. Right, left, back to the right before he's brought down.
That is number 51, it looks like? Tom Manning, number 51, is down. His legs are moving, and which is good. But, you know, anytime you see players writhing like that, maybe an arm, something like that, possibly. Both legs aren't moving.
Do not want to speculate.
No.
You see the defensive squad for Ursuline take a step back and just hope that their fellow defender is all right. Score's 14-7 here in favor of Uniontown. 2 first-half touchdowns for De'Aaron Jenkins. And a Graves touchdown here early has put them back into the game.
And you better fix that pin there, Jeff. Yeah, okay. Coming in from the right is Manning, and yeah, you see he's down right there. He's laying on his arm. So, you know, in situations like this, no, obviously.
Well, he's obviously okay. Farrell rolls out, wants to pass it. No, he'll take it himself and run. He's got some blocking room and knocked it up at about the 28-yard line. So Carl Farrell, we see him once again keeping himself.
Well, he did do a good job of blocking this time. Before, when Farrell would scramble, Ursuline would usually capitalize on that, but this time they had blockers the whole way up.
One of the strong points for Uniontown thus far has been our offensive line. Some questions during the preseason, but they have answered them. If they want to go deep into the playoffs, that offensive line will have to keep up the job they're doing. There's a handoff as McLee is brought down in a hurry. Once again, Kevin McLean, not much running room. Stop made by Giles for Ursuline.
You know, Jeff, I was walking up the stands at halftime, and I saw our headphones and the monitor sitting in the stands, and it looked like 2 people brought their Nintendos.
Farrell wants to pass, and he's brought down. Ursuline not full that time.
No, and Farrell seems to be hesitating a little too much. Too much for the own good of his own team. He looked like he looked like he had hunched over trying to slip his way through, then stood back up as if to prepare for a pass, but that never came.
Juan Vega, the man on the sack, a sophomore at 6'1", 270 pounds. So that now brings up 3rd down and 17. 7:15 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Man in motion is Kevin McLee. Carl Farrell wants to throw. Looks deep down the field for Jenkins. Gets a block from Billy McLee off to the left side at the 25 and knocked out of bounds up at about the 26. And Jim, once again, Carl Farrell decides to keep it himself.
And I think that in some instances, you have to do that. You have to keep it for yourself. But I'm just worrying that he might be doing it a little too much right now.
So it'll now be 4th down, and Uniontown forced the punt. There's a snap, kick, high kick. Fair catch called by Riley, as they will start at about the 44. So 56 yards they'll have to march. And after that first drive, Ursuline's got the big M, momentum.
And that's, I mean, if you have the momentum, I mean, that's only half the battle, though. You have to capitalize on the opportunities that you're given. Ursuline's only come anywhere close to their goal line only once tonight. And they've had opportunities. They just haven't taken advantage of them.
You're right, Ursuline has had their opportunities, but 2 fumbles, and the result was 2 touchdowns by Uniontown. There's a handoff to Ferguson. Ferguson gets knocked, but keeps on going. Pickup of about 1, and every time I say the name Ferguson, I want to say Tutu. He's a pit player.
That's right, William Ferguson, coming out of Woodland Hills High School, known as Tutu.
You know who also went to Woodland Hills?
That'd be your statistician, David Sabowski. No, I know because I have several friends of mine knew Tutu Ferguson.
Tutu.
That's Jeff's nickname, too, but for a completely different reason.
We won't answer that. Graves. Midfield, look at him go. He's got some great legs. 45-30, 25-20. Right down up and about the 15.
This is the Ursuline that should have been here the first half.
You're right. This is the Ursuline team that is 7-2, not 3-6. The two-time defending state champion, and you see right there, Terrence Graves. And the offensive line has really picked up the pace.
Yeah, you think about it, you say out of the 3 wins, they've won 7 of them. Out of the 3 wins, they've won 7 games, which is true.
5:45 remaining here in the third quarter. Uniontown on top 14-7, but for how much longer is the question. Chapman in motion. Farrell follows him. It's the handoff, straight up the middle. That was taken by Ferguson, and the thing about Ursuline is they don't have one great back, they've got 2.
And that's the situation that a lot of teams would like to be in. I know Monessen last week, that's one of the advantages. When you have a lot of targets...
They don't got 2, they've got 4 or 5.
But still, when you have a lot of targets, you're able to delegate your offense.
So 2nd down and 6 after a 4-yard pickup. Chapman to the left and Riley to the right. Up the middle once again they go. This time the ball carrier was number 5. That's Graves. You're right. I mean, it takes a lot out of you when you're taking 45 yards down the field. And when you have a guy on the bench that can replace you, it helps.
Yes. Keep it fresh.
3rd down and 2 out to the 4-yard pickup. Ferguson in the backfield. It goes to Ferguson straight up the gut and be close to the first down.
Now, Jeff, this matchup between these two teams was just announced a few weeks ago. And I guess one of the reasons they decided to go with Ursuline was availability. But when you're this late in the season, wouldn't you rather have a team with that's not as potent as Ursuline?
Well, it looks good. If you come up with a victory, I could see that.
You're just taking a big risk.
You're right. Youngstown, a very potent team. There's the handoff to Ferguson as Ferguson's tripped up by the defensive front. So they continue the trend. It goes Ferguson, and then they'll go back to Mr. Graves.
Well, of course, Uniontown's athletic director would certainly know how the Red Raiders would fare because their athletic director is Coach John Fortunia.
Yes. 2nd down and the ball spotted on the 2 for the Fighting Irish of Ursuline. Long drive from Youngstown. Take it in and touchdown. And who else? Number 5, Terrence Graves.
Whole new ball game now, Jeff. 14-13 to score. They can tie this up. They got an option here. They can tie it up. They can go for the 2. I would say tie it up.
And when you got a kicker like Amin, they will. So 14-13. 2 first-half touchdowns for Uniontown, and now 2 third-quarter touchdowns for Ursuline.
We just lost power.
And we're back. We've missed a few plays.
Technical difficulties.
Power outage.
Yeah.
Jim, it cannot get much worse. We've had our problems here tonight, technically, and with my voice and with the weather, but...
And with your horse.
14-14, and pass interference call against Ursuline. So it'll now be 1st down and 10 from the 35 for Uniontown. Uniontown needs to get something going as Ursuline has scored 14 unanswered points. And there's Mr. McLee. Mr. McLee spinning for about a 7-yard pickup.
Now, number 13 got in that. That was John Angelo. And John Angelo looked as if he got Kevin McLee's leg and spun him around a little bit. And that's...
You've got to wrap him up with both arms, though.
But just the way he moved, I mean, I've seen plays like that where the player's injured.
So 2nd down and 3. full house backfield. Farrell, the quick pitch, and he'll go nowhere. That defensive front read that the whole time, and they'll bring up 3rd down and 3. So here in the second half, we've seen a little more of Kevin McLeod.
We've just seen more of Youngstown Ursuline.
More of Mr. Terrence Graves and Mr. Delbert Ferguson.
2-2-2.
3rd down. Straight ahead, and they'll get that 1st down. Smart call by the coaching staff. Clock now at 2:05 here in the 3rd quarter.
You know, I'm sorry, Ursuline's resurgence in this game, you got to wonder earlier in the game when Brubaker had a run, they said he was down. He wasn't down. They could have an earlier start.
You're right, but it didn't matter. They still scored, and 14-14. And a false start as Ursuline points towards the right side for Uniontown, and I think they'll get the right guard for Uniontown. And they do.
Dead ball. Procedure. Red. Repeat 1st down.
So that'll knock them back as they'll repeat 1st down. 1st down and 15. And Uniontown really cannot get anything going right now. Their biggest gain of the 3rd quarter, that pass interference.
Right. And our biggest gain, getting power back.
Man in motion is Billy McLeod. Farrell, play action, steps up, throws on the screen to Kevin McLeod. Kevin McLeod still on his feet, but he only get about 1 yard. Stop made there by number 13, John Angelo. We've caught his name quite a few times. So 2nd down and 13 now. Clock at 1 minute. There was some snowflakes in the air to start this game, but we have not seen any since. I'm sure the mountains are getting their share. Farrell wants to throw. Looks deep downfield, and this one is caught.
Wow.
Adam Bozic.
Jeff, as I saw them going downfield, I thought, well, Ursuline has 2 players on that. I mean, you know, 66% chance of an interception there.
And there's some discussion down on the field.
They got it.
And Uniontown with a nice gain. Farrell to Bozic. And the official signals 1st down.
Yep.
And that was clearly a catch from Mr. Bozic.
It just happened to bounce into the other side. Uniontown getting their chance to shine now. We mentioned about how the momentum switched to Ursuline, but Uniontown...
One play could be a switch for Uniontown. Here we go. 39 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 3-back set. Farrell to Kevin McLeod. Kevin McLeod, the bulldozer, plows him over. We have a flag off to the left side, and I think this is going to be a personal foul against number 70. We've seen our share of fisticuffs tonight, Jim.
That's right, including between Jeff and I down at the concession stand to get the last hot chocolate. That's right. Well, you know, there's some discussion down on the field between Carl Fell and the referee.
A sportsmanlike penalty on White. Half the distance to the goal.
2nd time we've heard the half the distance call.
So it'll be to the 8 now. So 1st down and goal from the 8 for Uniontown. And just like that, the momentum, is back on Uniontown's side.
Or my favorite term, as I coined during last year's basketball season, the pendulum of momentum. We need an echo there. Hey, we talk about how cold it is tonight, though. We got to thank our camera people who are braving the cold tonight. Ryan Hepper, yes. Melanie Dolan, and I know we had Tom Gilbosinski down there on the field. I know he's not there now. I see Jared Wheeler doing some camera duties down there.
So the Ursuline coaching staff not pleased, and they really can't be. Clock now at 18 seconds as it continues to wind down. Full house backfield. Farrell, handoff inside to Billy McLee. Billy McLee spins as he gets down to the 2, and that more than likely will be the last play of the third quarter.
You're right.
And it will. We're tied at 14 in the CUTV High School Game of the Week. Up. Fans on their feet. I think it's trying to keep warm.
Some are on their feet. Some people are using other means of keeping warm. But being that this is a family show, we're not going to tell you.
It's happening. I'm serious. Right in front of us. So now second down and goal. Ball spotted on the 3. 2 touchdowns in the third quarter for Ursuline is tied it at 14. But now Uniontown threatening to score. There's Kevin McLee off to the right side, and he'll get about 1 as they stop Mr. Kevin McLee. So now a big third down for Uniontown.
It'll be 3rd and 1.
And Jim, in this situation with the wind, you want to take it in. You don't want to have to kick.
Right. I was curious about that towards the end of the first half when they were downfield and they weren't able to bring it in.
There's Farrell. He'll take it in himself. 20-14. The fans are on their feet as the hometown Red Raiders strike early in the fourth quarter.
And the QB sneaker finally works for Mr. Farrell, who gets the first the first non-De'Aaron Jenkins touchdown for the Red Raiders.
So Carl Farrell against Thomas Jefferson a few weeks ago had a big game, and he continues to trend this week. So 20-14, they'll attempt the extra kick to try and make it a 7-point lead. Snap, kick, good. 21-14 Uniontown.
Serious. Okay. We have to talk about this commercial we're supposed to shoot. Okay. Let's have some ideas right now.
We have 21 cold beers on tap. Tell them that. The biggest and best pizzas in the Mon Valley.
Yeah. Everybody's welcome. You gotta be 21.
We're not just a bar. We're a tradition in the Mon Valley.
Or maybe it's the food, the fun, and the good times. You can copy the best, but you can't beat the best. That's TJ McMonagle's and the Hollywood Grill. We're not just a bar. We're a tradition.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer in January of 1998. I didn't know what to expect.
We want our patients to understand cancer and to know that there's always hope.
Our treatments are more effective than ever before.
We have a committed staff that cares for our cancer patients.
I'm a survivor. That's why MVH is all the hospital I need.
Back deep is Poindexter for Ursuline, along with Riley. 21-14 in favor of Uniontown after the Carl Farrell touchdown. 11-18 remaining in this contest at the Battle of Pennsylvania against Ohio. Short kick taken by Ursuline, some great field. That's Poindexter. Poindexter, quick move back to the middle of the field, and Brett down at the 34-yard line. Don't call him a nerd. Poindexter, big game.
Good move there by Isaiah Poindexter. He had to be stopped by 3 Red Raiders. And still, I mean, it looked like...
back and forth we go.
Yeah. What was that?
That's my headset.
Okay. Hey, you never know.
So here we go.
This is the first back-and-forth duel we've seen all season.
You're right. I-back formation. Chapman in motion. There's Ferguson off to the left side. He's got some room. He's got the first down and more. You can kiss him goodbye. Mr. Ferguson, touchdown, 21-20. Just like that, back and forth we go. Forget this weather. We've got a great contest.
Absolutely. That was that was a great play. And it shows you the speed that Delbert Ferguson has. He was able to just rocket. Look at this. He slipped his way through and then off to the races. See you later.
So Amin will attempt to make this a 21-21 game. Snap, kick. No good. Wow.
Oh, man.
So the wind plays a factor. Amin, a great kicker, misses. Uniontown 21. Ursuline 20.
Sorry, 21-20 is the score. Uniontown gets a lucky break thanks to Mother Nature as that...
Yeah, the reliable John Amin misses the kick, and it's 21-20, a low squib kick. That's taken by Billy McLee, and Billy McLee takes it to the 42. So Uniontown will take over with some great field position. And the theme thus far, the second half, has been back and forth.
That's right. I mean, Uniontown was all over that first half, but and we said, hey, it's possible for Ursuline to pull it off. But if they played the same way, it wasn't going to happen. They had to change their approach, and that they did.
You're right. So here we go. 10:53 remaining. Farrell to Kevin McLee. Kevin McLee runs into a brick wall painted green and white.
Well, as Jeff said, this is the last week of the regular season here in the Whitfield. So by the time this game airs, we're going to have a better idea of the playoff picture.
I believe they will have the pairings Monday night. They usually do downtown Pittsburgh with all the coaches. So tune in your local stations or tune into CUTV High School Roundup or News Center, and we'll have it all for you. Hopefully I'll be back this week. There's Farrell, wants to pass, looks deep down the field. He's got Jenkins wide open. Touchdown!
Unbelievable! De'Aaron Jenkins, right place at the right time for Uniontown.
Jim, that might be one of the best 1-2 punches in all of football, all the WPIL. De'Aaron Jenkins' third touchdown of the night. It is now 27-20.
I have to eat my words at the beginning of this game. I said this game is going to be fought on the ground, but Carl Farrell, oh wow! Unbelievable! That's the second time he's done something like that tonight.
So now the ever so important extra point attempt. Cal Clay. They'll try to make it an 8-point lead. Snap, the hold, the kick, almost blocked, but it's good. 8-point lead, Uniontown.
Welcome back to the seesaw game.
There's the kick, and they kick it away, and it's taken by Poindexter at the 20. He's got the blockers off to the left side, takes it to the middle, and he's brought down up about the 35. So with 10:03 remaining, there was only 14 points scored in the first half, all by Uniontown, but the second half has been a totally different story.
34 points scored so far in the past, little under 14 minutes played.
Put that calculator away.
See, you broke my thought process, Jeff.
First down and 10 for the Fighting Irish. Man in motion is Chapman. And there's a reverse, and the ball's on the ground. Who's got it?
The one ref threw his hat.
I believe Ursuline has recovered. Jimmy Riley. And that's the third or fourth time we've seen the ball on the ground for Ursuline. So second down and 10, or check, that'll be second down and, about 17. I-back formation. Receiver to the left and to the right. Here's the handoff. Ferguson, he's at the 40 and brought down by Farrell. Up at about the 44, and there's a flag. Maybe another late hit against Carl Farrell.
Well, you can't help but wonder what Ursuline's going to do on this drive. Are they going to continue the trend, or what?
Let's take a look at the instant replay. Some nice blocking up front by the offensive line once again. One man to beat, but Carl Farrell was there. And
that didn't look like a late hit to me, but...
Talking to the Ursuline coaches.
Push in the back, right. 10 yards from the spot. Repeat. Second down.
So, wow.
And you heard the refs in the background, the other refs, ordering Ursuline's coaches back onto the sidelines.
So now it'll be second down and 28. They will march them back. And what fans are left are ringing their bells and on their feet. And the stick says first down, but it will be second down.
It says second down.
So second down at 12, they call it. They marked it from the spot that Ferguson was tackled. That's how I take it. There's Graves. Graves will get about 7. So they go back and forth between Graves and Ferguson, but every time the result is a gain.
It's good to have somebody reliable like Terrence Graves.
Terrence Graves, one of the best backs in all of Ohio, all conference, all state. And Ferguson, he's only a sophomore, so the Division 1A schools will come calling in just a few short years. Third down and 5. The handoff straight up the middle to Graves as Graves pushes his way for the first down, and that's the sign of a good runner when the legs keep on moving.
It's important you keep that footing and you're able to stay upright when you maneuver your way through there. And that's exactly what he did.
So 8:13 remaining. You start to pay attention to the clock in a tight game like this. Down by 8, Ursuline will almost be forced to go for 2 if they get a touchdown.
Which might not be a bad idea. You saw what the wind did to them last time.
And Carl Farrell appears something wrong with his equipment, so he'll have to come off the field. Once again, I apologize for my voice once again this week.
It's all right. Well, Jeff here missed 2 shows this week.
Yes.
He missed his news center appearance, and he actually had to go to the seat on the high school roundup this week.
To Gary Smith, he did a great job filling in, came from the bullpen. There's the handoff to Ferguson. He was stopped, and then he continues to go.
You know, I got to disagree. I think Smith was too rusty. He trying to do the comeback, and I don't know.
What are you saying? So second down and 8. 2-yard pickup for Delbert Ferguson. He was hit once, but continued to fight before he was stopped by McLee. Chapman split to the right, Riley to the left. I-back formation. Uniontown brings 5. The handoff to Graves as Graves will stumble his way for about 3.
Took a dive, took a couple steps, and then landed.
Stop made by Bozick. He had the big reception in the third quarter for Uniontown, which led to a touchdown. Clock now at 7 minutes. Take a look at the flags. They continue to whip. Big 3rd down and 5 for Ursuline. Ball on the 47. Here's Ferguson, and he's tripped up. He'll be short of the first down. And the man on the stop, Kevin McLee.
Looks like he's about a yard short. No,
so no,
he got it.
He got the first down. He did.
He did really. He looked short, but
from our view, it appeared he did not, but he did. So it'll be first down now, and a big first down for Ursuline. Score once again 28-20 in favor of Team PA. Clark on the handoff. Gain of about 2.
You hear a cheerleader cam. We're catching on the latest gossip.
So Ursuline continues to keep it down on the ground. In these conditions, it's very difficult to pass, but Uniontown in this second half has gotten it done.
They certainly have. I mean, of course, they were leading in passing the entire game.
Clark to Ferguson. Pickup of about 4 before he's stopped by number 56 for Uniontown. That is Adam Muziska.
What was that name?
Muziska. Bozick also in on the tackle.
Musica.
Is Musica to my ears. 3rd down and 5.
I'm just going to watch the game.
Graves off to the left side, and he's stopped. Big defensive stand there for Uniontown. That'll bring up a big 4th down.
Wind is certainly picking up, at least blowing in from our side of the bleachers here.
Timeout called by Ursuline, and on this 4th down, they need the time to think about it. Uniontown at 8-0. If they would win this, would go to 9-0. Their first undefeated season in quite a long time. They'll advance to the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. Right now, they are the number 1 team in AAA. Remember, next week we'll have playoff coverage for you. Some of the teams that are advancing to the playoffs from the area. Brownsville. Check that. Brownsville, not real sure if they'll get in. It'll be Bell Vernon, AAA, along with Uniontown. Greensburg-Salem will get in for that. The winner of the York-Derry game, whoever wins that will advance. We know in single A that Monessen will go. We know in double A that Washington and Waynesburg will go. So 4th down.
4:44 left in this here 4th quarter.
Fans on their feet. And we have flags. It appears like a false start. And this could be big. Uniontown signaling it is against Ursuline. See Ferguson. And it is. False starts. Wow. They'll be 4th down and 8 now. I'm sure that'll change their plan.
You don't want to punt this way.
And I don't think they can with only 4:39 remaining. Because with a running game like Uniontown's got, they can eat the clock.
Well, this is crunch time for Ursuline.
And for Uniontown.
They're going to have to do something here. If they don't, they won't be done, but it's going to be awfully hard to fight back.
On a cold, chilly night, Uniontown looking to go to 9-0 and remain the #1 team in AAA. As for Ursuline, they're just playing for respect right now after the forfeit of 4 games. Ursuline, the defending state champions of Ohio. And I know more than anything, Uniontown would like to be the state champion of Pennsylvania. With the team they got, why not?
Absolutely. Uniontown has a huge sign right on Route 40 as you pass the high school of all their past athletic endeavors. And I'm sure they'd love to put AAA state champions 2001 up there. Feeling the same way, Jeff. This temperature, just things tend to...
I know where I'll be tomorrow morning. In my bed. So here we go. 4th down and 8. Pretty much the game on the line on this play. Riley in motion. Shotgun formation. Clark wants to throw. And he's got Riley for the first down. How about that? Stop made by number 20, De'Aaron Jenkins, but a big first down for Ursuline.
Absolutely.
Move the chains.
They're going to pick this up from what, the 26. From the 26-yard line, they got 26. Excuse me there for a second. I forgot what I was going to say. 26 yards to go there.
It's the cold, Jim.
It certainly is.
Boy, what a game this has been.
And they're going to have to get that 2 if they get this touchdown.
You're right. I-back formation. Clark to Ferguson. Ferguson still on his feet. Look at him. Blow over Carl Farrell for the first down.
Farrell, it was like he was leaning up against a wall that was falling down. He wasn't going to stop him. They got another first down. Who lit the fire under Ursuline?
Wish I had some of that fire.
Yeah.
So another first down. 4:10 remaining. The students from Uniontown on their feet. Chapman to the left. Riley to the right. I-back formation. Uniontown, 5-down lineman. Clark to Graves. Graves up the middle. He'll get 4 before he's stopped by the defensive front. The difference this half for Ursuline has been to play at that offensive line. They have got it done up front, and it shows. 20 points in the second half. They were shut out in the first half. Clock now at 3:25 and winding down. Second down and 6. Riley in motion. Off to the right side. Clark wants to throw. Off to his right. He'll throw. Riley wide open. Touchdown, Ursuline.
I cannot comprehend why they let Riley open like that. I see Carl Farrell. He was in the vicinity there. But, I mean, we'll see this again. Look, there goes the pass. Over in the corner.
Wide open. Completely wide open.
I mean, he had enough room. He could have built a house while he was down there.
Someone had a bad read. And Joe Krosky, one of the defensive coaches for Uniontown, cannot be pleased. Fact is, this Uniontown team has shut down their opponents. And right now, Ursuline is showing why they're the defending state champion, because they have scored 26 points here in the second half.
Well, let's look at the scenarios here, Jeff. We got 3:05 left. It's 28-26. They're going to have to go. I mean, it'd be pointless to go for the extra point. You're going to have to go for the 2 here. If they make that 2, Uniontown's going to have to do something and do something quick. If they don't make it, Uniontown, they could breathe a little bit easier, but still, nothing's a sure bet.
They had the They have the resources to go deep quick. De'Aaron Jenkins, we've seen.
The question is Ursuline going to be able to contain them?
You're right. You know, Uniontown has put up 28 points against a very good Ursuline defense.
And then again, Jeff, if Ursuline gets that 2 points and Uniontown isn't going to do anything in the next 3 minutes and 5 seconds, it's proof that somebody up there hates us, and we have to sit here for overtime.
Here we go. 28-26. Ursuline has to go for 2. The General Darrell Clark. Look at the power eye. Clark rolls out to his right. He's going to throw it, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted into the end zone, and it's no good. The 2-point conversion fails. Uniontown 28, Ursuline 26.
Wow.
You better come back. Who knows what's going to happen?
CUTV High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Fayco Rentals. 2 locations to serve you better. If you want to rent it, Fayco's got it. Rittenhouse Bus Lines and Pleasant View Presbyterian Church, sponsoring the special Bring a Friend Out of the Cold service. Uniontown Toyota, great cars, great trucks, great deals, and great people. Centerville Clinics, 10 locations to serve you better. Uniontown and Fairchance offices. Uniontown Football Boosters, serving the Red Raider football program. Go Raiders. Enfield Stages Bus Lines, for a charter across town or across the USA. Laurel Computer Systems. Call Laurel Computer Systems for custom configurations, internet service, or gifts. Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, a full-service law practice that can handle any legal needs you may have. And by Autoland Hyundai. There's a new franchise in town, and it's in Uniontown's Autoland.
Ursuline forced with the onside kick. There it is, and it rolls, and it's on the ground. Ursuline's got it. Oh my Lord! Ursuline's got it.
It looked like Uniontown had picked it up.
They do. They have got it. Oh! All of Ohio rejoices on that play.
They got 2:59, Jeff. They're down by 2.
And the Uniontown fans are...
They're saying an 8-letter word that we cannot repeat on
They are
TV.
stunned, and I am stunned.
Oh!
And Jim, that quick flash of snow is a symbol.
All right, well, let's just show you.
Here's the 2-point conversion.
There goes Clark. He's under pressure. He throws. Farrell grabs it.
Actually, that was Chris Jacobs.
Oh, I'm sorry, but all the excitement that just went on down there, that's out the window.
I suddenly got heat back into me. There's Ferguson. Ferguson close to a first down, 8-yard pickup. Jim, we've asked for a good game. We've got it.
On the last game of the season,
we've waited 8 weeks.
We have a history of the game of the week to have these huge blowouts. We had 2 games that were competitive.
And it's a shame that I cannot have my voice 100% for this, but let's enjoy it. 7-yard pickup, 2nd down and 3. IVAC formation, a receiver to the left and to the right. Clock stands at 2:26. There's Graves, he plows.
He's going to be about a yard short, maybe.
And Ursuline signals first down, but I don't know if he got it. There's about 5 or 6 defenders in on a stop. And he does have the first down.
We were second guessing for 2:17, 1st and 10. The ball is on Uniontown's 34. Ursuline has possession. They're down by 2, and they're on a roll.
Clark, the handoff to the left side, pickup of about 3. Clock will wind down to 2 minutes.
And you got to ask yourself, I mean, if it so happens where they can't make much more progress, are they going to bite the bullet? Are they going to try to call the services of John Amin? Because, you know, a field goal would win this.
On the last weekend of October, the last weekend of the regular season, we have snow, and we've got a contest. Clark rolls out, steps up, avoids the sack, and throws to Riley. Riley's got it at the 20, on his feet at the 15, down to the 10-yard line. First down, Ursuline, and Jimmy Riley with a big reception.
He's silenced. A lot of these Uniontown fans, they're silenced, they're stunned with 1:26 left.
Remember, when you get a first down in high school football, they stop the clock.
They do stop the clock to move those chains. They're on the 11-yard line. It's 1st and 10 with 1:20 left. What's going to happen now?
Fans chant defense. There's Ferguson up the middle, pickup of about 4. And they continue to keep it on the ground. And right now, I don't think Uniontown can stop them on the ground.
No, they gotta hurry up. This clock is ticking down. They're gonna try to decide what's gonna happen. Uniontown. There's the last play. Look at that. Look at that. Look at Riley.
Clark to Graves. Graves up the middle, and he's stopped.
Clock is down. We're 43 and counting. Somebody's going to call a timeout.
Timeout down on the field. I believe this is by Ursuline. It is. And out goes Joe Kroski to talk defensive strategy. And Uniontown, if they want to go to 9-0, they have to come up with a huge stop.
They're going to have to shut them down. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
There you see snow in the lights. I never thought... This is the first time we've done a game in snow. I know in my 3 years here at CUTV, very enjoyable.
Oh yeah, Jeff. Yeah, it's very enjoyable. It's like a resort out here. I got to drive an hour after this game, Jeff.
Jim, we've had a great game.
We did. And hey, this is
as much as we've complained. We've got what we wished for, and I know you fans at home will enjoy this contest.
Watch the rebroadcast Thursday. If it's Thursday, sorry.
It was 14-0 at halftime in favor of Uniontown. Ursuline could not do anything offensively. They had no passing yards.
40 points scored in this second half.
So 3rd down and 4, and quite frankly, this is a big drive. Clark to throw. Goes to the air, and this one's thrown too high for Jimmy Riley. It comes down to this, a 4th down for Ursuline.
What do you do, Jeff? Do you go for it? Do you kick it? I'd say go for it because this wind is so unpredictable right now. It's wild.
Jim, I was in the press box before the game with 2 of Uniontown's coaches watching John Amin. And all they talked about,
Amin is out,
is what a good kicker he was. Timeout Uniontown. They were discussing how good of a kicker he was. They've been watching tapes of him. This kid does not miss much. He did miss the extra point, but that was due to the wind.
That's right. Now you don't see it, but the flag above the scoreboard is flying to the left. You'll see us up in you see the shot from up here in the stands. Right over there, you see. That's roughly by our direction. There's the flag. That shows you the wind right now. The wind, the snow, the elements are out here. This is it. I mean,
Boy, what a tough situation for a high school kid.
Now remember, John Amin missed an extra point earlier in this game.
This is it. 38 seconds remaining. Uniontown on top, 28-6. This will be about a 21-yard kick. Snap, it's down. The kick. It is no good. Uniontown prevails. They bend, but they do not break. John Amin misses the kick. Uniontown will go to 9-0, and Ursuline cannot believe it.
You were just talking about what a great kicker Amin was, but he could not pull through. Couldn't do it before, and he couldn't do it now. And it shows you I mean, it was just an amazing game.
All Uniontown has to do now is kneel on the ball. Some discussion on the field as they keep it cool, because we've seen some fights early on in the game and do not want to see that here.
No, the tensions are certainly high between these two teams.
Jim, I am shaking. So there's the kneel. That will do it. That will do it.
Jeff.
Uniontown will go undefeated.
And look at this. I mean, I was shaking. Look at that. There's a mean doink. It went through about the 3-foot gap under the uprights. 10 seconds.
That is it. That is the final play. Pennsylvania defeats Ohio. Uniontown defeats Ursuline. 14-0 at the half. At the end of 4 quarters, it's Uniontown 28-26. John Amin had a chance to win the game for Ursuline. He missed the 21-yard kick. And that is why Uniontown is the #1 team in AAA. Jim, sum it up for us.
I'll tell you, Jeff, I mean, the first half, we said, was all Uniontown, especially D.R. Jenkins. I mean, he had the 2 touchdowns. We saw Ursuline come back in that second. I mean, somebody certainly lit a fire under that, under that team there. I mean, they did great. They had those 2 great running backs. Ursuline had all the ingredients. They could have done it. But of course, you can't take any risk when you're only 21 yards over. They were at the 11.
How about the play of Graves and Ferguson for Ursuline? They had a tremendous game. As for Ursuline, they now fall to 3-7, and it's been that type of year.
And as we said, out of those 3-7, they've won 7 games.
You are right. But it's Uniontown who goes undefeated in the regular season. They will be the #1 team from AAA. Remember, next week we will have playoff coverage for you. I'll have my voice back.
That's right. Bring on the playoffs, baby. We're going to be there.
Bring it on.
And guess what? If it's cold like this, I quit.
Through snow, sleet, and
whatever.
We bring you the CTV High School Game of the Week. Jim, it's been enjoyable throughout the regular season. We look forward to the second season, the playoffs, for everyone involved from CTV. Have a great football week. We'll see you next Friday, more than likely back here from Uniontown. Way to go,